Hello everyone. I welcome you all to this workshop on data structures and algorithms by CodeChef MPS TM chapter in collaboration with Coding Blocks and CodeChef ADGITM and CodeChef IIST chapter. I have some news. Mr. Karthik Sapra was diagnosed with COVID yesterday, so he won't be able to conduct the event. But our today's speaker, Mr. Apar Kamal, has been kind enough to take the session and share his valuable knowledge with us. He is a six-star coder on CodeChef and a master on Code Forces. He's truly an expert in competitive programming. So, Mr. Apar Kamal, over to you.
Yeah, so am I audible? Am I audible through?
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you for the introduction, Dhruv. Now, okay. Continuing on with my introduction. I'm a mentor at Coding Blocks from like past 2 years, and I've taught all types of batches in Coding Blocks, starting from Launchpad to Algo Plus Plus to competitive programming. Also, the online coding blocks competitive programming course has been made by me and Pratik Narang sir, right? So recently, recently I've got offers from Zomato, Coordination, and Google. So I think I might be the best guy to maybe demonstrate you or guide you to the path of to the part to these big product-based companies, right? So in this workshop, we'll be like talking about some basics data structures and algorithms which are required for interview purposes for the product based companies, right? And also if in the end we can like have a normal talk session about how to prepare for these companies, like any types of guidance and all, right? So if you have any doubts, you may like there's this question answer session, you may write your doubts in here and I'll take all your doubts, right? So I don't leave doubts. So guys, let's continue with the workshop. Let me share the screen, and I'll right. So is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So let's begin with the workshop, right? So in today's workshop, I have decided to take these particular topics. So we'll start with arrays. What are arrays, strings? Because arrays and strings are the basic units of data structures and algorithms in C++, right? So we'll start with arrays and strings, and in these with continuing with the arrays and strings, what we'll do is we'll move on to the STL functions that are standard template library functions in C++. So guys, most of the code will be done in C++, right? Where we'll be seeing how to sort arrays, how to sort strings, right? So mostly we'll be working on arrays only. The same can be applied to strings. How we'll see how to reverse using STL inbuilt functions. We'll see some mode functions from STL that are unique, lower bound, upper bound, and then finally we will see some comparators, right? That how these comparators work and how we can sort an array on the basis of some particular properties that can only be defined by me, right? So what I'm doing here is I will be defining some properties in the comparators and we'll try to sort the arrays on the basis of that properties, right? After that we'll move on to number theory, introduction to number theory, because guys, uh, as I have like heard from these guys that there are some newcomers also in this workshop. So for the newcomers, of course, these topics like how to find the greatest common integer and how to code it out, also how to use sieve in number theory, all these topics will be helpful, very helpful, because these topics do not require much coding knowledge. They're like easily understandable if you have a good level of IQ. And after that, after like completing the number theory and all, we'll move on to trees, right? We'll take some advanced data structures that are trees and graphs, right? So we'll move on to trees, we'll code trees out, we'll see how to build trees in our C++, right? How to code trees, how to store the properties of trees. Then we'll move on to the properties of trees. We'll discuss that why are trees called trees, why not grass, right? And there are lots of properties of trees. After that, we'll move on to graphs, right? So in graphs, we'll be like focusing as we know that the graph is a very big topic, right? Like I can give I can give you a lecture of 10 hours continuously on graphs, right? So that's too much. But we'll only be focusing on cycle detection on graphs, right? Because I've also interned at Samsung Research and Development in Bangalore. So in the interview process of Samsung, they asked me about cycle detection on graphs, right? So that helped me get an internship at Samsung. So we'll discuss that. And yeah, so this is about it. Also guys, if you have any doubts, right, so for that I will be looking at this Q&A, right, live event Q&A. So just publish your doubts here and let's begin. Cool. Right, so what are arrays? Arrays are just a collection of elements, right? So before moving on to these, before moving on to any good topic, I like show that how do I work in a Sublime Text, right? So here what I'll do is, I hope you are not that new to programming, uh, because if you are if you're attending some workshop for the first time, right, then you need to understand some few things that we can write. We have various functions. We have a language C++, right? So I'm not telling you exactly the basics of that because this workshop is completely based on data structures and algorithms, right? Not on a particular language, right? Still, let me show you my Sublime part. So this is the header and this is the namespace that I'll be using. And of course, we'll be coding most of it in the main function. Now guys, these two lines that are FRE open and so what is this? Input.txt, open input.txt. R is for read from input.txt, and where to read? Standard input, that is cin. So f file open output.txt, write on output.txt, and what to write? Whatever std out, that is standard output gives you, that is cout, right? So here we have this input file and here we have this output file on the right hand side. Cool. So what I'll do is I'll simply take an integer. Let's say I'm taking an integer n. I'll input that integer n and I'll simply cout n, right? So when I change this integer, let's say I change it to 50 and I build this file. Let's build this, right? So we can see the build was finished in 1.9 seconds and in the output we got 50, right? So this is just to give you a demonstration of Sublime Text on which I'll be coding out. So if I do cout n into 10, so I should get 500. Cool guys. So I hope there's no issue in this because most of the coding part, or rather full coding part, would be done in Sublime Text itself. So from the input.txt, here I'll be reading the input and here I'll be writing the output. I hope this is clear. Right. Coming back to this, so we have arrays, right? So arrays are a collection of elements. So these elements, these basic elements, can be anything, right? So what different types of elements we have in C++ generally? We have like characters, we have booleans, we have integers, right? And we can take all types of arrays, right? So what we do is when we take an array, when we initialize an array, we say, let's say I'm initializing a character array. So what's a character? Characters are like A, B, C, in small case, capital A case, dot, comma, all these are characters, right? So if I want a character array, let's call it ch and I'll give it a length, let's say 10. So this is a character array of length 10, right? So in this array, I can store 10 different characters, right? So if I take an integer array, so let's say I have some integer array and let's define its length by 10. So this is an integer array, right? This array will store integers. So a of 0 will be some integer, a of 1 will be some integer, and so on, right? So we should know this. So guys, that's why I've divided these topics into 3 parts, because I exactly do not know that which type of students are in present the workshop. So the first topic, that is array, strings, and the STL, it is for complete beginners, whoever is new to programming. The second topic is intermediate topic, that is finding GCD and sieve and number theory. This topic is for those who who have an idea of how to code, right? But they want to get an idea of some new logics, right? They want to understand some good new logics. And the third part is this trees and cycle detection, right? So this is for intermediate level only, right? A little advanced topic because we'll be dealing with trees and graphs here. So that's why I divided the workshop into different topics, right? So right now I'm beginning with the basics. Cool. So as we know, for an array, the array is always zero based index, right? What is zero based indexing? That the first array element should be a of 0, the second array element should be a of 1, the third should be a of 2, and so on, right? So what should be the last array element? It should be a of 9. Why? Because the array's length is 10. So from 0 to 9 we have 10 different elements in our array, right? Okay, so let's take an array as an input. Let's say 5. Let's say the length of the array is 5, and 1 2 3 4 5 are the array elements, right? So what we'll do is we'll initialize an n, which is the length of the array. And what we'll do after this, we will have an array of length n, right? So initially we took 5, we initialized an array of length 5, and we started I from 0, we went till I less than n, right? So 0 1 2 3 4, right? And we'll simply input array I hope this part is clear. So by using these methods, we are just inputting our array. We are taking our array into a code, right? And what happens if I want to print this array out? Again, I'll start from 0. So firstly I'll see out a0, then I'll see out a1, and so on, right? So as we know that what is I++? It is incrementation of I by 1, right? Cool. So this is a normal input output array of my, this is normal input and output of an array, right? So here we have this array of length 5, we can see. So if I want to print twice of all the elements, then what I'll do is I'll simply print 2 into ai, right? If I want to find out sum of all the elements in my array, so what I can do is I can have a variable called sum. Let's initialize it by 0. So when I'm iterating over all the array, what I'll do is I'll say sum plus equals to ai, right? And finally I'll print sum. Cool. So the sum of this array is 15. So how is this happening, guys? What is this I going from 0 to n minus 1? That is 0 to 4. So what is a of 0? 1. A of 2? 2. Right. So a of 1 is 2. A of 2 is 3. A of 3 is 4. And a of 4 is 5. Because the array is zero based index. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to take all the elements into my sum. So this was like a basic introduction of arrays, right? So as we can see, guys, that there is a limitation of this array. What is the limitation here? That whenever we have to initialize an array, we want a fixed length, right? That this is the length of the array. Initialize the array by this particular length, right? But what if we don't want a fixed length? What if we don't know the fixed length, right? So there can be a problem that the problem can be like, okay, store the elements in an array until you get a -1. So when you get a -1, just stop, right? So guys, for this problem, we do not have a fixed length, right? Because in the input, we do not know that how many length are there. What is the length of the array until -1? So for this, what happens is there is another data structures in C++, which is vectors, right? So what I'll do is I'll take a vector, and in vector I need to tell it that which type of data type it will be storing inside. So for now, let's take int. Cool. So let's remove this n because we don't need this n, right? So let's say a. Cool. So what happens is initially the vector is empty, right? But when I'll one by one, let's start inputting these values, right? So I hope you know about whiles and for loops. So what will a while loop do? So while loop has a condition 1. 1 is true, right? So this will be an infinite loop, right? So if this will be an infinite loop, what it will do is it will take an array, it will take an element. Let's input that element. So firstly I got 1, then I'll get 5, then I'll get 4, and so on, right? So what is the break condition of this? the break condition is if x equals to -1, that means if the input value is -1, then simply break. Clear? And if it is not -1, then what we'll do is I will simply say a dot pushback x, right? So what does a pushback function do? It simply takes that element x and pushes it back to the a, right? So when will this while loop break? It will only break when x is equal to -1, right? So whenever I encounter a integer in the input and it is -1, it will break itself. Otherwise, what it will do is it will simply keep on pushing x at the back of a. So now guys, let's try to print a, right? So again, let's go over all this vector. We'll start from I equals to 0. So here n is not defined, right? So what's the method name which will tell me the size of a, the length of a? It is a dot size, right? So a dot size is a method which will tell us that what is the length of a particular vector, right? So I'll start I from 0, go till a dot size and simply see out ai. So by this we'll be getting 1, 5, 4, 6, 7, 8, right? So until I get -1, all the elements are there in my vector. So this is a basic introduction, right? So I won't go below this. Now let's step one above, and let's move on to sort, reverse, unique, lower bound, upper bound, and then we'll see comparators, right? Cool. So let's remove this, right? Now guys, let's take an array and let's say the array's length is 5, and now I'll be discussing about sorting an array, right? Or before that, let's discuss about reversing an array. Cool. So guys, how can I reverse an array? Let's say I have an array and the array is this. Let me write it here only. Right, so let me index it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just putting some random values into this. Right, now guys, I want to reverse this array. Reverse. So what should a reverse array look like? The reverse array should be 5. So let me like make this array 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I reverse this own array, then that means the first element should be replaced with the last element, right? And the second element should be replaced with the second last element. Third element should be replaced with the third last element. And the fourth element should be replaced with the fourth last element, right? So basically, if the length of the array is n, that means first n by 2 elements should be replaced by last n by 2 elements, right? But guys, if n is odd, for example, in this case, n is 8, right? That's why we have elements from 0 to 7. But what if n is odd? That means n is equal to 11. For n is equal to 11, what will happen, guys? The middle element do not need a replacement. Why? Because in the reverse array also, it will be in the center of it, right? What do I mean from this? Let's take an example of 3. So if I reverse this array, that means first should be replaced with the last, but second will always remain here, right? It should not be replaced with any other element, right? So after reversing this array, what I'll get is I'll get 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 5, right? So Acha, cool. I just want to ask few things from you guys. Tell me one thing, that is it too basic for you or itna aata hai? Just let me know this. You can write it in the chat or even in the Q&A so that I can speed up, right? Speeding up से तुम्हारा ही फायदा है. I have not to...
So they have asked a few questions in the published section, if you can check. In Q&A only, published.
Cool.
From below.
Yeah. Okay. So what is the vector array? Could you explain again? Right, I'll do that. Sublime text best ID we use for DSA in C++. See, it depends. Sublime text, that means I'm using Sublime text for past 2 years, right? And I've also seen various students use this only because of this particular feature, that I can have the multiple windows. But guys, of course, nothing is best, right? It completely depends on you. जो तुम्हें suit करता है, that's the best, basically. So, for example, right now I'm as an intern at Zomato, and in Zomato we are working on PHP code base, right? So for PHP code base we are using PHP Storm. So I'm not using Sublime there, right? So the IDE completely depends on you. So whatever you want to use, you can try on that, right? So it's not the best. Sublime takes the okay, yes sir, इतना आता है, cool है, no problem. So I like speed up a little, ठीक है? So reverse part को अभी skip करते हैं because इतना सब तो आता ही है. It's too basic, right? So let's move on to the STL inbuilt functions, which are like sort. Yeah, so sort पे चलते हैं पहले, right? And then we will see how to use comparators while sorting, right? So guys, if I want to sort an array for a particular length, तो यहाँ पे let's make an array. मान लो ये array है and कोई random सी values डाल देते हैं इसमें, right? So I have array of length 5, right? And I want to sort it. So how will I do? It's a very simple thing. Let's input this array, and finally we will sort this array, right? So what does this sort take, guys? It takes sort is an inbuilt function. It takes the length of the array that needs to be sorted, right? So what is a? It can also be written as a plus 0, right? So what is a plus 0, guys? It is a of 0. So coming over here, we have sort. It is a comma a plus n, right? So the left part of the sort takes lower bound and the right part of the sort takes an upper bound. That means if I have a range and I want to sort that range, let's say I want to just sort this part 2 to 5 of an array, right? That means from index 2 to index 5, sort this array. Then what I'll write is I will write sort a plus 2 to a plus 6, right? Why? Because the last one, that is an upper bound, is not included. So basically the range that I have is lower bound and upper bound is not included, right? I hope you are getting this, that the upper bound range should not be included. Why? Because if it is a plus 0, that means it is a0. But guys, we all know that there is no element named an, right? All the elements in an array are from a0 to a of n minus 1, right? So this was a quick introduction about sort. So if I want to sort a particular range, what I'll do is I'll simply mark that particular range in my array, right? So let's take an example, quick examples. Right, so this was my array 4 6 1 4 7, and when I did a sort on this, it sorted it in increasing order, right? So increasing order mein my array got sorted. And if I want to sort my array in decreasing order, guys, फिर क्या कर सकते हैं? So after sorting my array in increasing order, what I can do is I can simply reverse this array, right? So I'll simply reverse this array. So again, how to reverse an array? Same thing, right? You need to pass a range of that array, that this is the range, reverse this, right? So the range should be a comma a plus n, right? So let's build this and we can see that we have a reversed array 7 6 4 4 1. Cool. So this was about sorting and reversion and reverse. Let's move on to the next part, which is making an element unique, right? So I've took this function, this special STL function, because I've used it many times, right? So what I'll do is I'll simply say unique, right? So what does a unique do? Let's say I have an array and it is 1 1 5 2 2 5 5 2 6 3 3. Cool. So after performing a unique operation on this array will be how much? क्या convert हो जाएगी? It will be converted to 1 5 2 5 2 3. That means, guys, if I have some adjacent same elements, right, all those elements will be converted to a single element, right? As we can see, we have two ones, both of them converted to a 1. 5 as it is, these two converted to 1 2, these two 5s 5 2 and 3, right? So let's take one operation on unique, a normal code on unique. So we have, let's say, array of length 10 and 5 5 3 and let's say, cool, let's remove this 2 and let's add 4 here. So right now I have taken this array as an input and now we want to apply unique to it, right? So what I'll do is simply unique, cool, and in this unique I need to pass a range of that array. So a comma a plus n, मैंने पूरी array की range pass कर दी into my unique. So guys, after performing unique on this array size will reduce because कुछ ना कुछ elements they will collapse with each other and give me a single unique element, right? So this array will be 1 2 5 3 4, right? So from length 10 this reduced back to length 5. So what I'll do is I'll simply say, yeah, so this unique, this returns me the last iterator of the new array, right? So if I have the last iterator of the new array और मुझे पता लगाना है कि what is the length of the new array, what I'll do is I'll simply subtract the starting iterator of this array. So जो भी last था minus starting will give me the new length, right? And I'll make that equal to n. Cool guys. So I perform unique on this array. This unique gave me the last iterator minus the forward iterator of this array gave me n. That is the new length of the array, right? And I'll simply print out n. So here we can see that the how many continuous unique element we have, 5 only, that are 1 2 5 3 and 4, right? Now guys, I have a problem for you, and the problem states that find out how many unique elements are there in this array, right? So in this array, how many unique elements we have? 1 2 3 4 and 5. So there are 5 unique elements in this array. Let's talk about this array. So again, its length is 10 and I just want to find out how many unique elements are there. So 4 5 6 8 7 3 and 2, right? So I have many unique elements in this. So what should be the best way to find out how many unique elements are there in this array? Okay. Yeah, we can't use sort a plus n comma ay because firstly मतलब पहले तो we pass on to the lower bound of it, right? Lower bound of a range, and then we pass on the upper bound of a range. We cannot reverse the range, right? So we'll simply sort in ascending order and reverse the array. Or secondly, what we can do is we can use comparators. So I will be coming on to comparators after this, right? Okay. So guys, I want to find out how many unique elements are there in this array. How can I do that? Because guys, if I build this code on this, what I will get? I will get these many elements, but these are not the unique elements, right? So guys, what बताओ, can I do it this way? कि पहले मैं इसे sort कर लेता हूँ. Let's talk about this array. Let's sort it. So 1 1 2 2 2 3 3 and 5 5. So this will be a sorted version of this above array. ये हो जाएगा sorted version. And अब मैं इस sorted version को अगर unique करता हूँ, then I'll get 1 2 3 5. Right guys? So sort करने से क्या हो रहा है? That all the elements जो भी same थे, similar elements, right? That is 1 2 3 or 5 whatever. All the similar elements, they are coming together at one place. एक साथ आ जा रहे हैं और उसके बाद I'll apply unique that we have already discussed, right? So when all the elements are together, I'll simply apply unique and I'll get that how many elements are there, how many unique elements are there, right? So before applying unique, let's sort this array and build this. So here we can see that we have got 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 unique elements, right? So how many unique elements are there? That will be equal to the length of this new array, right? So this is 7. Cool guys. That first we sorted the whole array and then we applied unique, right? Okay. Now guys, tell me, if I just want to like sort only some part of this array. Let's say I just want to sort this range from index 2 to index 7, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from index 2, I want to sort till index 6 only. How can I sort that, guys? मुझे कितनी array pass करनी चाहिए? From index 2, that is a plus 2 to a plus 7, right? As I said, the last element is not included. A plus 2 included hai, but a plus 7 is not included. Why? Because it is the upper bound, right? That part is already discussed. That whenever we are passing on an array, the lower bound is included. That's why it has a bracket, rectangular bracket, and the upper bound is not included. It has a curve bracket, right? So if I pass a2 to a7, let's build this, right? So here you can see, guys, that 4, 5 to ऐसे ही था. That was index 0 and index 1, and after this 3 to 2 भी ऐसे ही रहा, right? So this array, that is 6 to 7, it got sorted, right? कैसे sort हुई है? 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, right? So we can see this 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So we are just sorting some particular range in this array by passing on that array to the sort function. Cool, right? So now, guys, let's move on to lower bounds and upper bound, and then we'll move on to comparators. ठीक है, ये काम करते हैं, पहले comparators पे चलते हैं, then we move on to lower bound and upper bound. And let me check some doubts. Cool, first sort then unique, right? A plus 2 to 7, great. ठीक है, so ठीक है, so guys, now let's say I want to sort this array in descending order, right? So for that we have special methods which are called comparators, right? So how to use comparators? Let's see how to use comparators. ठीक है, and after this I have a very good question from Code Forces जिसमें comparators use हो रहा होगा, so we'll see that, right? So a comma a plus n, ये तो sort हो गया, right? But with into the sort function we can pass on our own comparators, right? So let's pass a comparator to this and let's write a function called comp. ठीक है, so what is a comparator function? It is a boolean function and it will take two elements, let's say int a and int b. मान लो उसने दो elements लिए a and b. Now guys, ध्यान से देखना. Now let's say I want to sort all elements in descending order. ठीक है, so what will comparator do? It is a boolean function, boolean return करेगा. So basically comparator क्या return करता है, guys? If I'm writing a function called comparator a and b, I'm passing a and b to it. So guys, अगर ये function true return करता है, that means a should occur before b. A should occur before b. And if this function returns false, that means b should occur before a. Right? So guys, if I want to sort this array in reverse order, तो a अगर b से पहले आएगा तो what should be the condition? The condition यही होनी चाहिए ना कि a is greater than b. अगर ये condition रहती है that a is greater than b and I am returning that condition, या ऐसा कर लेते हैं if you are not aware of this. So if a is greater than b, I'll simply return true, right? Else I'll return false, right? So what does this comparator do? This comparator is telling the sort function कि if I have some two elements and I want कि कौन सा element किसके पहले आना चाहिए. So if I want a to be occurring before b, then the only condition is that a should be greater than b, right? If a is not greater than b, it will return false. And what does false mean? कि a should come after b, right? So let's build this. Right, so guys, now you can see that the array is sorted in decreasing order. Why? Because I have passed a particular comparator to it. Cool, so let's pass a comparator such that array is sorted in increasing order, तो यहाँ पे क्या आ जाएगा, a is less than b, right? So if a is less than b, that means a पहले आएगा only when if it is less than b, मतलब सबसे छोटा एलिमेंट सबसे आगे and सबसे बड़ा एलिमेंट सबसे पीछे. Cool guys, so we are getting a sorted array. Any doubts in this? Let's check. Okay, so फिर एक लेवल और ऊपर चलते हैं, ठीक है? So let's say I have a, मान लो मेरे पास पेयर है, ठीक है? So we all know what is a pair, ठीक है? पेयर है, what does a pair do? It like binds two data types, है ना? एक साथ दो डेटा टाइप को बाइंड करेगा. These data types can be anything. It can be a vector, integer, string, characters, booleans, anything, right? So let's say I have an array of pairs. मान लो कुछ ऐसी array है. 1 2 is first, and let's say 2 3, 2 4, 2 5, 3 6, and 3 1. ठीक है? So this is an array of pairs, right? So this array's length is 6. Now guys, I want to sort this array. किस basis पे sort करना चाहता हूँ? I want to sort this array on the basis of first element, कि जो छोटा एलिमेंट है वो पहले आ जाए. बट इफ टू पेयर्स हैव सेम फर्स्ट एलिमेंट्स, दैट इज लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दीज टू पेयर्स 2,3 and 2,4. इन दोनों में पहले एलिमेंट सेम है, राइट? बट इफ द एलिमेंट्स ऑफ द पेयर्स आर सेम, then I want to sort these pairs on the basis of second element, right? तो second element बड़ा होना चाहिए, right? So basically what I mean is कि first should be in increasing order, and if first is same for some two elements, then second should be in decreasing order. Right? So guys, if I apply sort on this array, देखो कैसे क्या आएगा आंसर? It will be 1 2 because the smallest is 1. Now guys, 2 3 2 4 2 5 में the answer should be 2 5 2 4 and 2 3. Right? Why? Because in तीनों के first are same, but second should be now in decreasing order. Clear? इसके बाद क्या आएगा? 3 6 and 3 1. So this should be the order that I want. So how can I do this? How can I try? How can I make a comparator work on this? So as I said guys, let's ठीक है, पूरा कोड चेंज करते हैं, पहले पेयर लेते हैं and let's take this same array which is 6 length की array, and let's say 1 2 2 3 2 4 2 5 3 6 and 3 1. ठीक है? So let's take the array length तो लेनी है input. Now guys, this array has to be pair type, right? So हम इसमें pair लिखेंगे, pair int comma int, because both of them are int, right? First and second elements. So I'll say simply ai dot first. What is ai dot first? That is a of that particular array I dot first, मतलब उसका pair का पहला element, and second means the second element, right? So let's take both of them as an input. So यहाँ पे मैंने पूरी array input ले ली है pair की. Now guys, I want to sort this array of pairs, right? And I'm sorting this array on the basis of some comparator, और वो comparator मैं लिखूंगा, right? So now guys, इस comparator में क्या change होना चाहिए? That firstly तो I'm not comparing to integers, I'm comparing to pairs now. इतना clear है? So let's say pair A and pair B, right? अब guys, A और B को किस basis पे compare करना है? So as I said, if first element of both, that is if a dot first is not equal to b dot first, तो simple है, return if a dot first is less than b dot first. Clear guys? अगर a dot first छोटा हुआ second pair के first से, तो ये true return हो जाएगा. अदरवाइज फॉल्स रिटर्न हो जाएगा, राइट. एल्स मतलब इफ a डॉट फर्स्ट इज इक्वल टू b डॉट फर्स्ट, तो अब मुझे क्या रिटर्न करना है, आई नीड टू रिटर्न इफ b डॉट सेकेंड इज ग्रेटर, सॉरी, b डॉट सेकेंड. अच्छा, अब देखो पहले दो एलिमेंट सेम है, सो लेट्स से आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट अ पेयर 2 3 एंड 2 4, ठीक है. सो अब क्या हो जाएगा, b डॉट a डॉट सेकेंड शुड बी ग्रेटर देन b डॉट सेकेंड. क्लियर है गाइस ये पार्ट, कि अगर पहले एलिमेंट इक्वल नहीं है तो सिंपल है, उनके बेसिस पे हो गया सॉर्ट. इफ बोथ ऑफ देम आर इक्वल देन द सेकेंड एलिमेंट शुड बी ग्रेटर फॉर ए, राइट. तो ए का सेकेंड एलिमेंट अगर बी के एलिमेंट से बड़ा है तो दिस कंडीशन विल रिटर्न ट्रू, और ये ट्रू रिटर्न करेगी तो ए पहले आएगा बी से, राइट. So I just sorted this and let's print the whole array. So ai dot first and ai dot second. Cool. So here guys we can see a live example कि देखो first से तो everyone is sorted in increasing order, left में देखो ना 1 2 2 2 and 3 3, but when two elements are equal for some pairs then 5 4 3 second order is in decreasing order, right. So guys this is the use of a comparator कि तुम अपने हिसाब से किसी भी array को you can sort it, you can manipulate the array according to your own needs, ठीक है. So no doubt still now, अगर कोई डाउट है गाइस प्लीज राइट इट है, राइट. ठीक है. So this was about a little bit about comparators. Now let's solve some problem from Codeforces. It's an easy problem guys and a good problem, ठीक है. So you are given a list of n strings, a1 से an मेरे पास strings है, so basically अगर 4 है तो I have 4 strings, right. So I would like to concatenate these strings together in some order such that the resulting string should be lexicographically smallest. मतलब basically if I have some 4 strings, तो उन 4 strings को concatenate करने के कितने तरीके हो सकते हैं guys? I can have n factorial ways. What is concatenation? Applying one string after another string, right? That means इनको concatenate करके ये string बनेगी, right. So first he has taken ABA CABA, that is this ABA CABA. After this he has taken ABBA, right, that is the first string, that is ABBA. Then he has taken BCD and then finally he has taken ER, right. So he has concatenated all these 4 strings. So after concatenation what I want is I want the final answer to be lexicographically smallest. What is lexicographically smallest? जितना छोटा बन सकता है उतना छोटा बन जाए, right. So for the second example मेरे पास क्या है, I have x, then I have some double x triple a, so let's say it is this string, then I have double x double a, then I have double x single a, then I have double x, and then I have single x. So this is the smallest possible concatenation, right. Let's talk about the last example, C CB CBA. So सबसे पहले CBA आ गया, फिर CB आ गया, and then C आ गया, right. I hope the problem statement is clear guys. नहीं है तो please let me know. Right. So guys बहुत सिंपल सा लॉजिक है इसका. So क्या आप ऐसे सोच रहे हो कि if I just sort all the strings in an order and I'll concatenate them, मान लो मेरे पास 3 strings हैं A B and A B C, right, and what I'll do is I'll just sort all these strings in increasing order. So this is the increasing order and finally I'll print them A B A B C. So should this give me a good answer guys? Sir, how is this smallest? Okay, मतलब you're talking about the problem, right? कि problem में वो smallest कैसे है, ठीक है. So let me give you an example. Right. So जैसे 4 स्ट्रिंग्स हैं, राइट, एंड इफ आई ट्राई टू कंकैटिनेट ER, मान लो मैं ER को सबसे पहले रखता हूँ। अच्छा, तो सबसे पहले बताओ हाउ मेनी पॉसिबल वेज आर देयर टू कंकैटिनेट दीज स्ट्रिंग्स? n फैक्टोरियल वेज हो गए ना। पहले प्लेस पे आई कैन हैव n नंबर्स, सेकंड प्लेस पे आई कैन हैव n-1 नंबर्स, थर्ड प्लेस पे n-2 एंड सो ऑन। तो आई होप दिस इज क्लियर कि राइट, आई होप दिस इज क्लियर कि n फैक्टोरियल वेज कैसे आ रहे हैं, n क्यों आ रहे हैं, राइट। नाउ सेकेंडली इज कि ये स्मॉलेस्ट क्यों है, राइट। सो मैं इससे भी स्टार्ट कर सकता था BCD से, राइट, बट गाइस अगर मैं BCD से स्टार्ट करता तो पहले पोजीशन पे ही B आ जाता ना, तो वो लेक्सोग्राफिकली स्मॉलेस्ट नहीं होता, राइट। व्हाट इज लेक्सोग्राफिकली स्मॉलेस्ट? डिक्शनरी ऑर्डर वाले स्मॉलेस्ट, राइट। तो B और E से तो मैं स्टार्ट कर ही नहीं सकता। सो बेसिकली आई हैव दीज टू ऑप्शंस टू स्टार्ट। अब मुझे बताओ इन दो में से मुझे कौन से ऑप्शन से स्टार्ट करना चाहिए? इफ आई स्टार्ट विद ABBA गाइस, तो यू कैन सी वन थिंग दैट इफ आई स्टार्ट विद ABBA, यहाँ पे लिख लेते हैं ABBA, and secondly I can also start with CABA, right, CABA. So guys इन दोनों में you can easily notice कि ABBA और ABA-CBA में ABA-CABA छोटा है, right? Why? Because of the third place. अगर मैं ABBA से पूरी स्ट्रिंग स्टार्ट करता तो बड़ी हो जाती ना, बिकॉज द सेकेंड स्ट्रिंग विच इज स्मॉलेस्ट स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम ABA-CABA, तो ये छोटी है ना स्ट्रिंग, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस एट द थर्ड प्लेस। लेक्सोग्राफिकली मीन्स डिक्शनरी ऑर्डर, not according to the length. Cool. Okay. Okay. So guys, string input लेते हैं. Let's try to sort it on the basis of length first. ठीक है. So यहाँ पे एक string input ले लेते हैं पूरा. So I have string S and its length is n, and C in SI. Right. So मैंने पूरी string array input ले ली, and now I want to sort S on the basis of length. मैं पूरी ये S array, that is string array, मैं इसको length के basis पे sort करना चाहता हूँ. So of course I'll have to write a comparator. The comparator will compare two strings, right? तो किस basis पे compare करेगा? It will simply return if a dot size is less than b dot size. तो ये size के basis पे sort हो जाएंगी ना सारी strings. So let's print them. Okay, string. Right. So AR has the smallest size, BCD has the thoda bada size, then this is also, and the last one is the biggest size. So size के basis पे तो we don't have any doubts, right? But how will you sort it on the basis of, so that it passes this problem? मतलब तुम्हें lexicographically smallest चाहिए. So guys, how to solve these types of problems? What we'll do is we'll try comparing two elements only. हम बस दो strings लेंगे, उनको compare करेंगे, and उनके comparison के basis पे हम पूरी array को sort कर लेंगे, right? So guys, tell me if I have some string S and string T. मेरे पास दो strings हैं S and T. So कौन सी string पहले आनी चाहिए so that it gives me a smaller result? So guys, these two strings S and T will only have two possible ways, right? That is, या तो S के पीछे T आ जाए, it concatenates in this way S plus T, या फिर T plus S हो जाए. We have only two ways of concatenating two strings, guys. Two factorial ways, two ways, right? So इन दोनों में जो भी सबसे छोटा तरीका होगा, that will return, right? Basically what I mean is if S plus T is smaller than T plus S, तो S पहले आएगा, otherwise T पहले आएगा, right? So what I'll write in my comparator, guys? Simply return if A plus B is less than B plus A. राइट कि ए बी के साथ कंकैटिनेट करने पे इज दैट लेक्सोग्राफिकली स्मॉलर देन बी ए के साथ कंकैटिनेट करने पे, राइट. So guys, if I apply this on two strings and if I apply this for every pair of strings in my sorted array, तो आंसर बन जाएगा. I'll get the lexicographically smallest, right? So if you have any doubts, let me know. Cool. So let's build this. And now we can see that we have got our array in a sorted order, right? So instead of slash n, let's just print this. Cool guys, we are getting this output. Now similarly, let's take this and let's build it. So double x, triple a, double x, double a, double x, a, triple x, right? So it is same as the output that we need. And finally the third output. Let's copy this, paste it here, and let's build the function. Right, CBA, CBC. Clear guys? So what we are trying to do, what is the use of a comparator? Comparator क्या कर रहा है? It is actually comparing two strings. And वो जो दो का जो comparison है, it is making this for all the strings, right? So वो comparison, if it is on all the strings, it will finally return me a array जो मुझे चाहिए, right? So I hope this particular comparator is clear to you, and it's a very small comparator, right? That a plus b is smaller or b plus a is smaller. Cool. So with this problem, I'm finishing this comparator topic. Right. Now let's move on to understanding what are upper bounds and lower bounds and how to find them in my array, right? So let's say I have an array and upper bound and lower bound are only used in sorted arrays, guys. Okay. So let's write something over here. Cool. So let me index this array too. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are the indexes of this array, right? So let's take these as the indexes of this array. Now guys, तुम लोग बताओ, so that I can understand your understanding of upper bound and lower bound. Which index is lower bound of 5? Right, what is the lower bound of 5? Let's check answers if you have any. So in this, I want you to tell me a lower bound of 5. I want you to tell me lower bound of 3. Tell me lower bound of 4. Tell me upper bound of 5. Upper bound of 6 and upper bound of 0. Any answers, guys? See, what is a lower bound and an upper bound? So let's define lower bound and upper bound first. So what is the lower bound of x? Lower bound of x का मतलब क्या है? It is some index or basically first index I such that a of I, that is array of I, is greater than equal to x. ठीक है? And what is upper bound of x? So with this definition, let's fill this lower bound. So what will be lower bound of 5? So what is the first index which is just greater than equal to 5? The index 4, right? Because index 4 pe I have first element which is greater than equal to 5. Cool guys. So I have an index 4. Now what is lower bound of 3? So what is the first index such that the element at that index is greater than equal to 3? It is at index 3. Why? Because we have an element 4 over here and 4 is greater than equal to 3. Because guys, 2 cannot be greater than equal to 3, right? So this is the first index such that the element at that index is greater than equal to 3. So we have 3 over here, right? What is lower bound of 4? Again, the lower bound of 4 is 3 again, right? Why? Because 4 is greater than equal to 3. The first index such that this condition holds true. Clear, guys? Any doubts in this?
Sir, you can check. They have answered.
Acha, cool hai. Cool. So let me match them. So lower bound of 5 is 4 and upper is 7. Right. ठीक है. So basically you lower bound of 3 is 4. Lower bound of 3 is 4. नहीं ये गलत है. Lower bound of 3 is 3, right? And the next is 4 2 3 7 9 0. ठीक है. 4 2 3 7 9 0. तो ये तो गलत हो गया. Second one, because lower bound of 3 is 3, right? So now let's talk about upper bound, guys. So upper bound क्या है? Again, the same definition, that first index I such that a of I is greater than x. अब guys equal to नहीं आएगा. Cool. So I hope you are getting this. What's the difference between lower bound and upper bound? It is the first index I such that a is greater than x, right? So guys, what is upper bound of 5? Upper bound of 5 is 7, right? Upper bound of 6, 9, and upper bound of 0 is 0. This is the first index such that it is greater than the current element, right? So tell me what is upper bound of 3? Upper bound of 3. So upper bound of 3 is, अच्छा थोड़ा आंसर लेट आ रहा है तो I just continue, right? So the upper bound of 3 is 3, right? So guys, as we can see that lower bound of 3 is also 3, right? So here we come to a special conclusion that if I want to find out some number of elements, let's say some number of 5, कितने हैं? How many? What is the count of 5? So the count of 5 will be equal to its upper bound minus lower bound, right? So what is upper bound of 5? It is 7 minus lower bound of 5 is 4. So I'll get 3, right? So that is equal to the count of 5, upper bound minus lower bound, right? Why? Because already told you that lower bound is included and upper bound is not included. So if I want to find out how many number of elements are between upper bound and lower bound, so they are simply upper bound minus lower bound, right? So guys, how many 3s are there in this array? Simply upper bound minus lower bound. So upper bound of 3 is 3 and lower bound of 3 is 3, which is equal to 0. Clear? That how can you find the count of x? So count of x is upper bound minus lower bound, right? So without taking any extra space, we are finding count of any integer in an array, right? How? By normally doing upper bound and lower bound, right? Right, cool. So let's code this a little and then we'll move forward. So how to find, so let me take an array, कोई सी भी array लेते हैं. Let's say some array of length 7. Right, and I just want to give you an idea of what is or how does upper bound and lower bound work in C++, right? So let's take this array, and the main condition is that the array should be sorted, right? And upper bound and lower bound works in log n, right? Cool. So I've just taken this array as an input, and now let's print upper bound of 7, right? So firstly we have to pass this array to upper bound, so a comma a plus n, and then we'll pass this element जिसका upper bound हमें निकालना है, right? And this upper bound will give me the iterator to the end element, मतलब जो भी element होगा upper bound का उसका iterator देगा, right? If I want that index, तो मैं क्या करूँगा? I'll simply subtract the starting element of the array, right? So जहाँ पर भी वो था, whatever the iterator it was, I'll subtract the initial iterator and I'll get the difference. So that difference is equal to the index, right? So let's print this. So upper bound of 7 is 7, that is out of array. Now let's say what is upper bound of 5. So our upper bound of 5 is on index 5, which is the first index of 7, right? Similarly guys, let's print lower bound, and let's print lower bound of 7. So minus a and slash 5, right? So lower bound of 7 is equal to upper bound of 5. And let's print lower bound of 2. It's on index 1, right? Which is this 3. So I hope this is making sense. And finally, let's print some count. So count कैसे आएगा? Count is simple. Let's pass this whole array to upper bound. Let's say I want to find out count of 2. So I'll simply subtract lower bound from it. Right, so it is a comma a plus n comma 2. So the count of 2 is 0, right? So let's find the count of 5s. So what is the count of 5? 1, right? So I hope this is being clear, right? So let's step up a little. एक अच्छे टॉपिक पे चलते हैं now. कोई डाउट्स हैं? Let me check. Right, ये सब functions STL में already present हैं, right? तभी we are able to use them directly, right? Upper bound, lower bound, और sort, comparators तुम्हें बनाने पड़ेंगे, unique. So there are lots of good STL functions, right? So why does we want to use STL functions? मतलब ये हम खुद भी तो लिख सकते थे, upper bound and lower bound. We can write it our own, right? But what does STL do, guys? STL का benefit क्या है? That वो सब STL is actually coded by some very great coders, right? तो उसमें गलती होने के chances है ही नहीं, because it has already been tested a lot, right? Secondly, it also saves our time. मान लो तुम कोई contest दे रहे हो, so instead of writing the whole lower bound code yourself, you can directly use lower bound, right? So if you directly use lower bound, तो क्या होगा? It will save your time and accuracy will be perfect. Accuracy उतनी होगी जितनी चाहिए, right? So that's why, guys, understanding STL is very important, right? And so this was about STL. Now let's move on to some difficult topics and more interesting topics, right? So abhi beginners wala part is done. Let's move on to some intermediate part, which is GCDs, sieves, and both of them are in number theory, right? So right, दो बार आ गया, कोई नहीं. So next topic that I thought I would explain is how to find greatest common divisors of two numbers. So let's say some x and y's. Cool. So guys, what is a GCD of two number? GCD क्या होता है? मतलब आगे तुमने पढ़ा होगा. It is also called highest common factor, right? So if I want to find out some GCD of two numbers, let's say I have a number line. मेरे पास एक बड़ी सी नंबर लाइन है, एंड मान लो यहाँ पे कहीं x है, let's say x is over here and y is over here, ठीक है? So what is the greatest common divisor that divides x and y? So here are few things that we'll notice and we'll go one by one. So guys, let's say वो यहाँ पर है, let's call it G. So G is the GCD of x comma y, right? So what are the properties that G should follow? That x should be equal to some a into G. कोई एक number है a, variable है. So x should be equal to a into G. A के G के multiple में आना चाहिए x, and let's say y is equal to some b into G. Right, so y will be equal to b into G. So guys, what happens if I subtract y minus x? So if I'm doing y minus x, मेरे पास क्या आ जाता है? bg minus ag, which is equal to b minus a into g. So guys, here we can notice another thing, that the difference of x and y is also divisible by g. Right? Is this part clear? The difference of those two numbers is also divisible by g. STL is used in Java or only in CPP? Yeah, STL is for every language, right? PHP के अपने STL inbuilt functions हैं that you can use directly. C++ के अपने हैं, Java के अपने, right? So maybe उनका नाम कुछ और हो, right? But in C++ it is called standard template library, right? और हर language का अपना होता है. Cool. So what I have y minus x, which is equals to bg minus ag, right? Which is b minus a into g. That means this y minus x is also divisible by g. Why? Because it is equal to some b minus a, which is the number, into g. Cool guys. So basically guys, बस यहाँ पे recursive relation क्या आ गई? If GCD of x comma y, this should also be equal to GCD of x comma x y minus x. Is this part clear to everyone कि अगर वो x और y minus x का भी GCD होना चाहिए, because that g is also dividing y minus x, right? Now guys, let's move recursively. आगे चलते हैं थोड़ा. So let's say this is the new x and this is the new y. So मेरे पास क्या आ जाता है? This should also be equal to GCD of x comma y minus 2x. Agree करते हो? Because let's say this x is equals to new x. Let's say x dash. Cool. And what is y dash here? Y dash is y minus x. Cool. So what is GCD of x dash and y dash? It is equal to GCD of x dash comma y dash minus x dash. ये हमने already देख लिया कि x और y का GCD can also be written as this. So dash लगा दिया, ये आ गया. So now let's replace the original values. GCD of x dash is equal to x, comma y dash is equal to y minus x, and x dash is equal to x, right? So this gives me GCD of x comma y minus 2x. Is this part clear guys? मतलब similarly ये क्या आ जाएगा? GCD of x comma y minus 3x. Similarly 4x, 5x and so on. Let me check. So can you please share the list of all STL inbuilt functions? I cannot share that list, but yes, you can easily find a list of STL functions of C++ on C++ reference. CPP reference is a website, and इसमें you can like find all the things regarding C, right? So C++ 11 में क्या है, 17 में क्या है, 20 में क्या है, and let's say standard library headers, right? So there are different library headers. So here what I'm doing is I'm having a ultimate header. So this header includes all the other headers, right? But if you don't want to include all the headers, तुम क्या कर सकते हो? You can add these headers one by one, right? So CPP reference STL, right? So जैसे array है मेरे पास, तो array के बारे में सारी information आ जाएगी, right? And if I want to go for vector, deque, list, anything guys, anything, everything is available on this website. Cool. So go to CPP reference if you haven't and try researching the website. ठीक है? अच्छा, any other doubts? Cool. So I'm not repeating any other concept because recording तुम्हें available होगी. You can go over that once, right? So low bound and upper bound तो हमने बहुत पहले का छोड़ दिया. Cool. So यहाँ पे guys ऐसे चलता रहेगा, right? So let me give you an example. So let's say I want to find out GCD of some 50, 14. So this should be also equal to GCD of 50, 50 minus 14, which is 36. Right? So what we'll do guys, एक काम करते हैं. Let's say the first element is always smaller than the second element. एक maintain करके रखते हैं अपने end से. 15 and 14 and 50, right? So again what I get is 14 and 36. अब फिर से 14 minus कर दो इसमें, I'll get a 22. Right? So this GCD should also be equal to 14 minus 22 minus 14 is 8. Right? Now let's swap them because we want ki pehla wala should be less than second wala. Right? Again guys, let's subtract 8 from 14. What we'll get? 8 comma 6. Right? So let's swap them. So 6 comma 8 ho gaya. Now let's subtract them. 8 minus 6 is 2. Right? So it will be 2 comma 6. And after that we'll simply get 6 minus 2 is 4, then 4 minus 2 is 2, and 2 minus 2 is 0, 0 comma 2 in the end. Right? So guys मैंने बस एक ही चीज करी है इसमें. क्या करा है? That GCD of x comma y is equal to GCD of x comma y minus x, where x is less than y. I've just applied this recurrence relation again and again. ठीक है? अब here we have come on the base condition. What is the base condition guys? That 0 or 2 में what is the GCD? Greatest common divisor of 0 comma a is a itself. Yes or no? Right, because 0 तो divide करेगा नहीं. So GCD of some 0 comma a is a. So जैसे in the end I'll get 0, then that simply means that what is the GCD? It is a, right? So what is guys GCD of 15 and 50? GCD of 14 and 50 is equal to GCD of 0 comma 2, which is 2. Clear a part? Right. So let's take some other example. Let's say let's find some GCD of 5 comma 25. ठीक है. So ये क्या आ जाएगा? GCD of 5 comma 20, 5 comma 15, 5 comma 10, 5 comma 5, and then 0 comma 5. Right? I'm just subtracting x from y again and again. So क्या आ जाता है guys यहाँ पे? What is GCD of 0 comma 5, which is 5? So GCD of 5 and 25 is also 5. Clear है guys ये? Right. So what is happening? X and y है, फिर x and y minus x है, फिर x and y minus 2x है, and so on. Right? So guys, can I skip this part? मतलब what I mean is, देखो मेरे साथ क्या चल रहा है यहाँ पे. मान लो मुझे 14 और 3 का निकालना है, लेट से. तो क्या होगा? 3 14 में से 3 गया 11, 8, 5, 2, राइट? सो गाइस बेसिकली देखो क्या हो रहा है. 14 में से 3 माइनस किया. जैसे द एलिमेंट इज लेस देन 3, आई एम स्वैपिंग इट 2, 3, राइट? सो गाइस इंस्टेड ऑफ सबट्रैक्टिंग अगेन एंड अगेन, मतलब बार बार सबट्रैक्ट करने से अच्छा है, व्हाट आई कैन डू इज आई कैन सिंपली से दैट इट इज इक्वल टू 14 mod 3. सोच के देखो, यही मतलब तो हुआ कि if I divide 14 by 3, what is the remainder that I'll get? I'll get 2 directly, right? So instead of subtracting 3 again and again, I'll simply say that it is equal to 14 mod 3, right? So let me check some doubts. Cool. No doubts. So you're getting this point कि हम mod 3 क्यों कर रहे हैं? मतलब बार बार सबट्रैक्ट कर लो या mod ले लो, पहुंचोगे तो वहीं पे, right? Right. So what I got is what is GCD of x comma y? It is equal to GCD of x comma y mod x, right? So let's apply this relation that we have found to some example, right? So 3 और 14 का ही करते हैं. So अब यहाँ पे क्या आ जाएगा? What is 14 mod 3? It is 2, right? So कितना आ जाएगा यहाँ पे? 2 comma 3. Now guys, again let's do the same thing. Again let's do y mod x. So what is 3 mod 2? It is 1. So I have 1 and 2. And finally, what is 2 mod 1? It is 0. So what is the GCD of 0 and 1? It is 1. So what is the GCD of 3 and 14? 1. Right? अच्छा, एक दूसरा एग्जांपल लेते हैं. Let's say I have 999 and 1. मुझे इन दोनों का GCD निकालना है, right? तो यहाँ पे क्या हो सकता है? I can again and again subtract 1 from 999, right? Basically it can be triple, मतलब 998 and 1, 997 and 1, 996 and 1, 995 and 1. मैं एक एक करके 1 से सब्ट्रैक्ट कर सकता हूँ, right? Or what I can do is I can directly say that 999 and 1 का अगर मैं mod ले लूँ, so it will directly become 1 and 0, right? Because 999 mod 1 is 0 और 1 तो as it is आ जाएगा. So what is the GCD of 1 and 0? It is 1. तो देख लो, in just one step I have reached the base case. अगर मैं सब्ट्रैक्ट करता तो मुझे 999 steps लगते until I reach 0,1, right? So I hope you are getting what is the benefit of taking remainder directly. So this remainder will help us avoid all these steps. It will help us directly jump from 14 to 2. Cool guys? So 14 and 50 का example लिया था. Let's go over that once. 14 and 50, right? So what is the remainder if I divide 50 by 14? 14 2 is 28, 14 3 is 42. So 8 is the remainder, right? So मेरे पास क्या आ गया? 8 and 14. अब guys again let's what is the remainder if I divide 14 by 8? 6 and 8. What is the remainder if I divide 8 by 6? 2, right? And if I divide 2 by 6, I get a 0 remainder and 2 as a second number. So what is the GCD of 0 and 2? It is 2 only, right? तो गाइस यहाँ पे हम देख सकते हैं कि कितने स्टेप्स हैं. 1 2 3 4 स्टेप्स ओनली, बट हेयर कितने स्टेप्स थे? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 steps, right? So by this way what we are trying to do is we are trying to find GCD, right? So any doubts? Cool, no doubts. So इसको कोड करते हैं guys. So what is the recurrence relation that I have got? That GCD of some x comma y is equal to GCD of, so अभी के लिए guys let's say x is less than y. अगर x less than y है, so what I can say is I can say x mod y here and x here, right? इससे क्या होगा? That the first element will always be less than the second element, right? क्योंकि y mod x मतलब if I divide y by x, what is the remainder? Remainder हमेशा x से कम होगा ना. If I'm dividing any number by some number, always remainder will be less than the denominator, right? So the first number that is y mod x will always be less than x, right? So इससे हमारी ये वाली जो parity है that is x is less than y, ये जो हम maintain करके चल रहे हैं ये automatically maintain हो जाएगी, right? So let's code this recursive relation, right? And let's call a function called let's say cout GCD of 5 comma 10. मुझे 5 और 10 का GCD निकालना है, right? So int GCD x comma y. So what was the recursive relation that I got? It is return GCD of y mod x comma x, right? And what will be the base case guys? जब हम 0 पे आ जाते हैं. So if x is 0 और if x अगर 0 है तो simply return y, GCD is y. Otherwise if y is 0 then simply return x. यही होगा ना. Or what I can do is I can say that if x plus y is equal to 0, yeah, if x is 0 or y is 0, simply return x plus y. ये भी सही है, x 0 हुआ तो y रिटर्न हो जाएगा, y 0 हुआ तो x रिटर्न हो जाएगा, राइट? सो लेट्स बिल्ड दिस. So the GCD is 5. Output में देख पा रहे हैं हम, right? So let's write some other numbers. And let's find their GCDs. So the GCD of both these numbers is 3, right? And let's say 50 and 10. So the GCD of 50 and 10 is 10. Clear है guys? Or do you want me to print what are x and y's? कि क्या क्या iterations आ रहे हैं? Let's print. तो 50 10 था, 10 50 बना, 0 10 बना and 10 बन गया, right? Let's take some other example, some big examples. So देख रहे हो, ये numbers थे, then reduced to this. Finally 8 0 बचा and it returned 8, right? So in like 10 steps only, I am able to find out GCD of these two big numbers. Any doubts in this guys? कि हमने शुरू कहाँ से किया था and हम यहाँ तक कैसे पहुँचे? No doubts. Great. Okay. So let's get back to this. So I hope this is clear to you all, how to find GCD of some two numbers, right? So let's move on to the next topic that we have, which is trees पे चलते हैं, ठीक है? Because we have like 40 minutes left. तो I just मुझे बस
Sir, could you check one of the doubts?
अच्छा. So this concept is used in which please in real life? An example please, right? So what happens is when you are trying to find GCD of some two numbers, देखो क्या होता है, मैंने ये array ली, right? जितना मैंने अभी तक पढ़ा है, let's say whatever I have taught, whatever there is in coding, right? Let's say arrays, strings, anything, right? So वो सब real life में कहाँ use हो रहा है? वो सब एक company के code base में use हो रहा है. See, I'm interning at Zomato, right? So what does that mean? कि मैं क्या कर पा रहा हूँ? I'm making some changes in my code, which is going to the code base of that company. और उस code base से क्या हो रहा है? That code is being utilized, right? जैसे Zomato order करता है, Zomato से कुछ order हुआ, उसमें there are tens of things, मतलब thousands of things हैं basically. फिर वो bill हुआ, bill कैसे हुआ, कितना कटा, मतलब all that is coded out, right? कहीं ना कहीं code base में used है, कहीं ना कहीं पीछे कोड पे लिखा है, राइट? उस कोड की वजह से यू आर एबल टू, जैसे लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दिस मीट ओनली, जो ये टीम्स पे चल रही है, ये जो वीडियो इधर उधर जा रही है, आवाज आ रही है, क्वेश्चन आंसर पूछ रहे हो, एवरीथिंग इज कोडेड आउट, कुछ ना कुछ पीछे कोड में चल रहा है, राइट? जिसकी वजह से ऑल ऑफ दिस इज पॉसिबल, राइट? सो ये सब रियल लाइफ में यूज हो रहा है ना. एंड इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट पर्टिकुलर कॉन्सेप्ट, जीसीडी वाला कहाँ यूज होगा रियल लाइफ में? सो आई हैव ओनली वन आंसर, इन इंटरव्यूज एंड कोडिंग राउंड्स, राइट? मान लो तुम्हारे पास एक प्रॉब्लम आ गई दैट यू हैव टू फाइंड जीसीडी ऑफ सम वेरी बिग नंबर्स, तो कैसे करोगे इसे सॉल्व? लेट्स से कोडिंग राउंड था और तुम्हारे पास ये प्रॉब्लम आ गई, सो यू कांट हार्ड कोड इट ना, बिकॉज बहुत सारा इनपुट होगा, बहुत सारा आउटपुट होगा. यू नीड टू राइट दैट समवेयर. हम ये सब क्यों कर रहे हैं? बिकॉज वी वांट टू क्रैक सम इंटरव्यूज, राइट? दैट्स द यूज इन रियल लाइफ, है ना? इंटरव्यूज क्रैक होंगे, उससे क्या होगा? विल मूव ऑन टू दैट कंपनीज, जॉब मिलेगी, फिर वहां पर इस सबको यूज करेंगे, राइट? सो वट एवर आई एम टीचिंग, वट एवर आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड, इट इज ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ सम टेक्निकल इंटरव्यूज और कोडिंग राउंड्स दैट यू आर गोइंग टू फेस, राइट? मान लो कि तुम एक नॉर्मल जीसीडी फंक्शन भी लिख पा रहे हो, दैट इज अ नॉर्मल ब्रूट फोर्स, कि यार इससे मैं जीसीडी निकाल सकता हूँ डायरेक्टली, ब्रूट फोर्स एकदम, राइट? बट दैट ब्रूट फोर्स विल नॉट वर्क एट इतने एफिशिएंटली, वो काम नहीं करेगा ना. इट विल टेक अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम बिकॉज यू आर अप्लाइंग अ ब्रूट फोर्स ऑन टू इट. So to make your code efficient so that it passes within the time limits, we are always going into some greater concepts, ठीक है? ताकि वो कोड टाइम लिमिट में पास हो जाए. टाइम लिमिट इज एवरीथिंग, राइट? देखो ब्रूट फोर्स तो कोई भी लिख सकता है, कहीं भी लिख सकता है, राइट। बट ये जो सीपी होती है, जो कोडिंग राउंड से रैंक लिस्ट आती है जिससे कंपनीज इंटरव्यूज लेती हैं, दिस ऑल इज बेस्ड ऑन टाइम लिमिट्स, कि किसने कितने टाइम में कौन सा कोड पास करा दिया, राइट। कूल, आई होप यू गॉट दिस कि व्हाई आर वी डिस्कसिंग दीज कॉन्सेप्ट्स। ओके, ठीक है, सो लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ ट्रीज नाउ। ठीक है, तो ट्रीज पे चलते हैं एंड देन वी मूव ऑन टू साइक्लिक डिटेक्शन ऑन ग्राफ्स। Trees and graphs. So guys, what is the tree? Tree की definition क्या है? Tree is a, अच्छा सबसे पहले देखते हैं कि tree होता क्या है, इसे represent कैसे करते हैं, right? So generally guys, when we talk about trees and graphs, we talk about two things that are vertices and edges, right? So vertices is represented by some circle or square and edges are points, lines, right? So in lines के दो ends होंगे, edges के which are vertices, right? So let's say I want to make a tree, मैंने एक tree बनाया, तो this is first vertex, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this way I have a connection, right? So what are the edges of these three? So the first edge is from 1 to 2, second edge is from 1 to 3, 3 to 4 एक edge है and 3 to 5 एक edge है. So by only having the edge list of a particular tree, by only having this edge list, we can make a whole tree, right? पूरा का पूरा tree कैसे बन जाएगा? By just having a edge list of it, right? Now guys, what is the definition of a tree? Like what is a tree and how does it differ from graph, right? So what is a tree? Tree is a connected component. Tree is a connected component with no cycles, right? So what is a cycle guys? अगर मैं एक edge ऐसे बना दूं, right? So यहाँ पे एक cycle आ गई ना मेरे tree में, मतलब इस graph में. Now it has become a graph and it's not a tree, right? So basically every tree is a graph and every graph is not a tree, right? So अब देख सकते हैं guys, इस graph में I have a cycle. What is a cycle? That I'm starting from 1 and I can reach back 1 again by moving on to some nodes, right? Or what can we have? How can we have a second definition of a cycle? The second definition of a cycle is that if there are two paths between any two vertices in the graph, then there is a cycle. Let me write it. So if there are two paths or more than two paths between any vertices in the graph, then that graph is a cycle, right? So एक cycle का मतलब क्या है कि एक vertex u है, उससे I am able to go to v via one path, and then there is some other path कि मैं u से चल रहा हूँ फिर से v पे पहुंच जा रहा हूँ, right? So there are two paths or there may be more than two paths. So basically मान लो 1 और 3 है, so there is this path कि मैं 1 से 3 directly आ जाऊँ, and then there is this second part कि मैं 1 से 2 जाऊँ and 2 से 3 आ जाऊँ, right? So there are two different paths from 1 to 3. That means there is a cycle in this graph, right? So guys, if I remove this particular edge, अब बताओ साइकिल है इस ग्राफ में, किसी दो नोड्स के बीच कोई दो पाथ्स हैं इस ग्राफ में, थिंक एंड टेल. ओके यार, जावा के लिए आई कैन, मतलब बात ये है ना, मेजॉरिटी ऑफ अस कोड्स इन सी प्लस प्लस, राइट? सो जब मेजॉरिटी सी प्लस प्लस में कोड कर रही है तो उसी में पढ़ाना चाहिए ना, राइट? जावा के लिए यू कैन डू इट योरसेल्फ. देखो बहुत सिंपल सी चीज है, लॉजिक इज नॉट लैंग्वेज डिपेंडेंट. लॉजिक अपनी जगह है, लैंग्वेज अपनी जगह है, राइट? उस लॉजिक को तुम कहीं भी कोड कर सकते हो, राइट? Cool. So this graph is a tree, right? So what is a tree? Tree is a connected component with no cycles. There can be another definition of tree कि if, अच्छा एक बात बताओ, is this a tree? साइकिल तो है नहीं इसमें, so it should be a tree. But guys, this is not a tree, right? Why? Because it is not a connected graph, right? I hope you are getting this point. Ki this is not a tree. This is a forest. What is a forest? जिसमें बहुत सारे trees हो, right? So what is a tree, guys? Tree की definition क्या है? It is a connected component with no cycles. It should be a connected component. That's the important part, right? Now let's define tree with some other definition. That is, tree is also okay. So if every two node in a graph, matlab, every pair of node has only one path between them, then it can also be considered as a tree, right? So if every pair of nodes have or has whatever exactly one path, then it's a tree. Right? So basically अब देख लो इसमें I'm not talking about connected component, I'm not talking about cycles. I am saying if every pair has exactly one path between them, then it is a tree, right? Cool. So यहाँ देख सकते हैं 1 और 3 में तो path है ही नहीं, 1 और 5 में there is no path. That means it's not a tree, right? So I hope you have understood what is a tree and what is the difference between a tree and a graph, right? So let's check doubts. Okay, cool. Right. So guys, how to make a tree? How to like construct a tree? मतलब उसको कोड कैसे करेंगे? मतलब how will I store these 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5? I store these in different ways, right? So first way is to store this in a matrix, right? So here I have 5 nodes, right? So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have a 5 cross 5 matrix initially, let's say. So I'll have this matrix and I'll call zeros and ones. ठीक है? 1 मतलब there is an edge between that, and 0 मतलब there is no edge. So 1 1 में no edge, 1 2 में there is an edge. ठीक है? 1 3 में there is an edge, 1 4 में no edge, 1 5 में no edge. 2 1 में there is an edge, 2 2 no edge, 2 3 no edge, no edge and no edge. From 3 1 पे edge है, 2 पे नहीं है, 3 पे नहीं है, 4 पे है, 5 पे है. From 4 I have an edge to only 3, right? And no other edges. And from 5 I have only edge to 3 and no other edges. So guys, can you notice this part? I hope you can see this, that if I have a matrix that is a 2D array, right? So if I have a matrix, if I have a 2D array, I can easily find out, I can easily store a structure of a tree in that कि कहाँ पे edges हैं and कहाँ पे नहीं है, right? So this is an undirected tree, right? Undirected tree मतलब इसके जो edges हैं उसमें हम both ways जा सकते हैं, from 1 to 2 also and 2 to 1 also, 1 to 3 also and 3 to 1 also, right? But let's say if it was a directed tree, so let's make directions of these edges कि मैं 1 से 2 जा सकता हूँ, 2 से 1 नहीं जा सकता, right? And let's say 3 to 1, 3 to 4 and 5 to 3. Let's say these were the directions of the edges. तो अब कैसे स्टोर करेंगे इस ट्री को into my graph? So here I'll have just edge from 1 to 2 H from 3 to 1, S from 3 to 4, and H from 5 to 3. Right, guys? So in this way, I will be storing different types of trees, right? But guys, there is a disadvantage of storing trees as 2D matrices. How or why? Because 2D matrices क्या है, n cross n है, right? So अगर मेरे पास कुछ बहुत बड़ा n आ जाता है, then I cannot make a matrix of size n cross n, right? For that, what we have vectors in C, right? So हम क्या करेंगे? What we'll try to do is we will be having adjacency list of all nodes in my tree. So we'll be storing all the edges, all the nodes by making an adjacency list of all the nodes, right? For example, if I have a tree 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 3 to 4, 3 to 5, right? So basically, let's make an adjacency list. One, two, three, four, five. So guys, 1 की adjacency list में क्या आ जाएगा? 2, also 3, right? Because these two are adjacent to 1. 2 की adjacency list में 1 आ जाएगा. 3 की adjacency list में 1 आ जाएगा, 4 आ जाएगा, 5 आ जाएगा, right? And 4 की लिस्ट में I'll get 3, I'll get बस 3 ही आएगा, right? And 5 की लिस्ट में also I'll get 3. So this is an adjacency list representation of a tree, right? So this can also be for a graph, it can be for anything, right? So मुझे बताओ, do we all know about depth first search and breadth first search in this trees and graphs? मतलब हमें पहले से पता है what is the DFS, a BFS in a graph? Basically traversals हैं trees and graphs पे, DFS and BFS. Because for cyclic direction we have to understand DFS and BFS first. एक बार guys, अच्छा no, great. So we will be moving on to DFS and BFS. पहले DFS BFS समझ लेते हैं क्या होता है, and उसके बाद we'll come on to cyclic direction, right? So charging पे लगा लेते हैं. Cool. So guys, what's a depth first search? Depth first search is a traversal, right? It's a traversal on a tree or a graph, right? So as the name suggests, depth first search, right? So basically what we are doing over here, what we are trying to do, हम पहले depth में जाएंगे of a particular node, right? So initially we were on 1, हम 2 पे गए. Now we'll come back to 1 because 2 से नीचे हम कहीं जा नहीं सकते, right? Now I'll go to 3, I'll go to 4, अब हम और नीचे नहीं जा सकते. Then I'll come back to 3, then I'll go to 5, I'll come back to 5, I'll come back from 5 to 3, I'll come back to 1, and I'll go back, right? So basically what is happening here, I'm trying to start a depth first search from the root node of a tree, right? So guys, a quick question है, if I have a tree of size n, तो उसमें कितने edges होंगे? How many edges should that tree contain? अगर मेरे पास n लेंथ का ट्री है, then what is the number of edges in the tree? अच्छा ऐसे सोचो इसको, लेट्स से यू हैव सम n नोड्स 1 2 3 4। अब तुमको इन सब नोड्स को एक साथ ज्वाइन करना है ताकि कोई साइकिल ना बने। सो इन सबको मैं ऐसे ज्वाइन कर सकता हूँ, सबको 1 से ज्वाइन कर सकता हूँ, राइट? कोई साइकिल नहीं बन रही और सब कनेक्टेड भी हैं। तो मुझे कितनी एजेस रिक्वायर्ड हुई? n-1 एजेस, राइट? क्योंकि एक को तो मैंने सेंटर मान लिया और बाकी सबको इससे कनेक्ट कर लिया। सो n-1 को मैं इससे कनेक्ट कर रहा हूँ। सो एवरी ट्री गाइस, एवरी ट्री विल हैव n-1 एजेस। कूल। सो whenever if in the problem statement कभी ऐसे given है कि n nodes हैं और n-1 edges हैं, समझ जाना that's a tree, right? Great. So guys, now what we'll do is we'll okay, so you are saying that you already know depth first search and breadth first search. ठीक है भाई, फिर आई एम डायरेक्टली मूविंग ऑन टू साइकिल डिटेक्शन इन ग्राफ्स। ठीक है, फिर अभी मैं ये अज्यूम करके चल रहा हूँ कि यू नो व्हाट इज अ ग्राफ, हाउ टू कंस्ट्रक्ट अ ग्राफ, हाउ टू टेक इनपुट फ्रॉम अ ग्राफ, एंड what are the depth first search, what are the traversals on this, right? So I directly move on to cycle detection in a graph. ठीक है, so guys मान लो मेरे पास एक ग्राफ है, ये ग्राफ है ना? एंड what I want to do is I want to find out कि इसमें साइकिल है या नहीं। so मैं कैसे करूंगा? So when we are trying to find out cycles in a graph, we have a concept of back edges, right? What are back edges, guys? Back edges are edges that are pointing to backward nodes. Backward nodes मतलब जब हम DFS करते हैं तो we can see that there are some nodes जो पहले आ जाती हैं, then some other nodes, right? So guys, in this case we can see that there is an edge from 1 to 2, from 1 to 3, 3 to 4 and 3 to 5, right? But in this case एक बार इस पे DFS करते हैं, then you will understand the concept of back edge. ठीक है, so initially I'm on 1, मैं 2 पे गया, 2 से 4 पे गया, 4 से 5 पे गया, 5 से I went to 6. Now guys, there is an edge जो कि 6 से 4 को पॉइंट कर रही है, right? That means 4 मेरे 6 से पहले आ चुका है, and now I have another edge which is pointing to 4, मतलब 6 to 4 पॉइंट कर रही है, it is pointing somewhere backwards, right? So if an edge is pointing somewhere backwards, I have got a back edge, right? So अगर मेरे ग्राफ में एक बैक एज मिल जाती है, at least one back edge, then it has a cycle, right? Basically यहाँ पे एक बैक एज आ गई मेरे पास, right? So all the other edges जब मैं DFS परफॉर्म कर रहा था 1 से 2 थी। So guys, जब मैं इस पे DFS परफॉर्म करूंगा तो मेरे पास एक नॉर्मल एजेस आएंगी, that are these 5 6, एक बैक एज आ गई मेरे पास which is 6 to 4 and एक 1 से 3 वाली एज है, right? So just because of this particular back edge, I will say that I have found a cycle in a tree. Sorry, cycle in a graph, my bad, right? So दूसरा एग्जांपल लेते हैं, let's take a small example 1 2 3. ठीक है, मान लो मैं डेप्थ फर्स्ट से स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ 1 से, so मैं 1 पे गया, फिर मैं 2 पे गया, फिर मैं 3 पे गया। अब 3 से there is an edge which is pointing to 1, right? That means I have a back edge. जैसी back edge आ गई इसका मतलब क्या है? There is a cycle in the graph, right? So guys, how to find out back edges in a graph, मतलब कोड करते समय कैसे पता लगाएंगे कि back edge आ जाती है? There is a simple approach for that. What is that approach? कि क्या करो, whenever you are doing a depth first search on this graph, तुम visited को 1 मार्क कर लो. That means 1 is visited, 2 is visited, 4 is visited, 5 is visited, 6 is visited. Now I have an edge that is pointing to 4 and 4 was already visited, right? So if 4 is already visited, that means I cannot, that means it's a back edge. It is pointing to a node which is already visited, right? Clear है guys ये? So एक दूसरा एग्जांपल लेते हैं, some different type of example. Let's say ये मेरा एक ग्राफ है, राइट? मान लो मैंने 5 से DFS परफॉर्म किया है, मैंने 5 से सर्च कर रहा हूँ. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट फ्रॉम 5. सो 5 से मैं 4 पे गया, 4 से मैं 2 पे गया. अब 2 से there is an edge which is pointing back to 5 and 5 was visited. 5 विजिट हो चुका है, 4 विजिट हो चुका है, राइट? अब 2 से there is an edge that is pointing to 5 and 5 was already visited. That means I have got a back edge. तो ये एक back edge है, right? Then from 2 I'll go to 3, I'll go to 1, and 1 से again I get an edge which is pointing back to 2. 2 was already visited. That means again I have got a back edge, right? So this is about cycle detection in a undirected graph, right? So एक बार इसको कोड करके देखते हैं and let's find out cycles in my graph, right? So basically सबसे पहले अगर मेरे पास ग्राफ है, I need to tell कि in that graph मुझे मेरे पास कितनी nodes हैं and कितने edges हैं. So let's take this graph. How many nodes are there? 5 nodes. 5 nodes and how many edges? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges. Right. So इस ग्राफ को इनपुट ले लेते हैं. So I have this particular method जिससे मैं इनपुट लूंगा, right? So let's say vector int graph. So ग्राफ एरे बना ली मैंने बहुत बड़ी. That means this is an adjacency list of particular node, right? So let's make all the edges here. What are the edges? 1 से 2 is an edge, 1 से 3, 2 से 3, 2 से 4, 2 से 5 and 4 से 5, right? So मेरे पास ये 6 edges हैं. So let's take them as an input. So n और m ले लेते हैं graphs and nodes and edges के लिए. Let's go till m. ठीक है? So x comma y. Let's take x and y. What are x and y? This edge is from x to y. ठीक है? So अब मैं क्या करूँगा? Graph of x dot pushback y. मतलब x की adjacency list में y डालूंगा because वो directly adjacent है, right? और y की adjacency list में I'll push x क्योंकि वो adjacent है, right? So now I have to check कि cycle है या नहीं ग्राफ में. So let's say I have a boolean variable called cycle, right? So initially इस cycle को false कर देते हैं कि cycle नहीं है ग्राफ में. जैसी एक back edge मिलेगी मुझे, I will simply say that I've got a cycle, right? So DFS perform करते हैं. So let's start DFS from 1, ठीक है? And as I said, we also need a visited array कि वो मैंने visit करा है नहीं, right? So while performing DFS, what I'll do is I'll simply say void DFS. Let's write a function. Current मतलब I'm on the current node right now, right? So जैसे ही मैं current node पे हूँ, I'll say visited current equals to 1. Cool guys. What does this mean? That मैंने उसको mark कर दिया है 1. That it has already been visited, right? So जैसे ही मैं किसी भी node पे जा रहा हूँ, I'm marking it as visited. अब क्या करेंगे? Let's go in the adjacency list of this current. इसके adjacently जाएंगे सब पे, right? So basically let's say let's go in the adjacency list of current, right? So what is auto x? X is all the elements in the adjacency list of graph current, right? So उन सब पे जाऊंगा मैं, right? So what does this mean? If अगर x already visited था, that means it can contribute to back edge, right? But not always. I'll tell you why. So first of all, let's say visited x is 0. कि अगर मैंने उसे visit ही नहीं किया है तो let's visit it. चले जाते हैं उस पे, right? Else क्या होगा? Else I'll say I've got a back edge, right? So what does this back edge means, guys? Back edge का मतलब क्या है? I've got a cycle. I'll say cycle equals to true. कि मेरे पास cycle आ गई है ग्राफ में, right? But guys, this is not a perfect DFS. मतलब ये it won't work. Why won't it work? बिकॉज गाइस ध्यान से देखो, इट्स एन अनडायरेक्टेड ग्राफ, है ना। अनडायरेक्टेड ग्राफ का मतलब क्या है, 1 के एडजेसेंट में 2 है, 2 के एडजेसेंट में 1 है। सो जब मैं 1 से, मान लो ये था, मैं जब 1 से 2 पर गया, दैट मीन्स 1 वॉज मार्क्ड एज विजिटेड, 2 वॉज नॉट विजिटेड राइट नाउ, तो मैं 2 पे पहुंचा, राइट। बट 2 के एडजेसेंट में भी तो 1 था, राइट। सो इट विल से कि 1 is visited, that means I've got a back edge because there is this edge in the adjacency list of 2 also, right? So guys, for this we have to make a special case. What is the special case? कि जब भी मैं पेरेंट से आ रहा हूं, राइट, मैं 1 से 2 गया, सो अब 2 की एडजेसेंसी लिस्ट में भी 1 पुश था, बिकॉज वी आर पुशिंग 1 की एडजेसेंसी लिस्ट में 2 एंड 2 की एडजेसेंसी लिस्ट में 1, राइट। सो व्हाट विल से इज, इफ इट इज विजिटेड एंड नॉट इक्वल टू पेरेंट, अगर वो पेरेंट है और वो विजिटेड है, देन इट्स नॉट अ बैक एज, राइट। ये तो एक ही एज है ना, पेरेंट और उसके बीच तो एक ही एज होगी, राइट। सो व्हाट आई से इज, बैक एज वो होगी इफ द एज इज नॉट पॉइंटिंग बैक टू इट्स पेरेंट, वो कहीं ऊपर पॉइंट कर रही है rather than its parent, right? So what I'll say is, else if x is not equal to parent, right? और parent कैसे आएगा, let's pass parent साथ में, cool. So जब भी मैं DFS कर रहा हूँ, I am performing a DFS x, so I'll pass current as a new parent पास करूंगा, क्योंकि अब मैं x में चला गया, that means current was the parent, कि मैं current से आया हूँ, right? And when I'm starting the DFS 1 से, so I'll pass 0 to it. So 0 is a non parent of 1, मतलब एक pseudo parent of 1 है जो कि exist ही नहीं करता, right? So now guys, the condition has been changed, ठीक है, कि if visited x is not 0, that means it is 1, right? तो visited x तो 1 है and x is not equal to parent, x parent के बराबर नहीं है, that means the next element जो ये edge point कर रही है, it is not equal to parent but it is visited, that means I've got a back edge. Clear? So then I'll say that I've got a cycle, right? So after this DFS is over, I'll simply say if cycle, then cycle found, else cout not found. Cool. Let's build this. So here we got a cycle found, right? And now guys, क्या कर सकते हैं, let's remove some 2 edges, 2 edges हटा देते हैं। इसमें if I remove this edge and this edge, I'm not getting a cycle. So एक मैंने edge हटा दी from 2 to 3 and एक edge हटा दी from 2 to 4, right? So how many edges are there? Only 4 edges. So let's build this. So not found. So as we can see now, the cycle is not there, right? So by just performing a DFS or a BFS, we can simply find out that whether there is a cycle in the graph or not by finding out back edges. So I hope you have understood the concept of back edges. कि back edge क्या होगी? Back edge is any edge which is pointing somewhere above its parent in the DFS tree, right? Cool. So any doubts? Cool, no doubts. So this is a working example of performing a DFS and finding out a cycle in a graph, right? So if you have any doubts, please let me know. And time भी खत्म हो ही रहा है. Right. तो guys, let's skip this DSLGO part now. अब तो कुछ नया नहीं कर पाएंगे, right? So let's discuss few of some normal doubts, right? So जो doubts generally मेरे पास आते हैं, that are clear how to prepare for some companies, कि companies वगैरह हैं, interviews वगैरह होने हैं, how to prepare for that, right? So how do we prepare for companies? So firstly मैं क्या suggest करता हूँ सबको, I always say that do lead code. जितना lead code करोगे उतना better है. अच्छा यू में है, cool, right? So टेक माई एडवाइस, बिकॉज मैं इसलिए बता सकता हूँ गाइज क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि रिसेंटली क्या चल रहा है, राइट? रिसेंटली मतलब मेरे पास इन लाइक मेरे दोस्त वगैरह भी इंटरव्यूज दे रहे हैं, जूनियर्स दे रहे हैं, मेरे स्टूडेंट्स दे रहे हैं, राइट? आई नो कि यार माहौल कैसा है, क्या पूछते हैं, कैसा पूछते हैं, राइट? सो फर्स्टली आई वुड ऑलवेज सजेस्ट यू कि अपना डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स एंड एल्गोरिथम्स के जो कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं उनको स्ट्रॉन्ग कर लो. एदर यू डू लीड कोड और यू कैन परचेज सम कोर्सेज, राइट? कोडिंग ब्लॉक्स के कोर्सेज हैं एंड दे आर रियली गुड कोर्सेज, राइट? तो यू कैन हैव सम कोर्सेज फ्रॉम कोडिंग ब्लॉक्स. नहीं तो लीड कोड इज बेस्ट, राइट? And the second step is, guys, if you want to really master data structures and algorithms, तुम compete करना चाहते हो, then go into competitive programming, right? So competitive programming से क्या होगा? Data structures and algorithms तो अपने आप cover हो ही जाएंगे. मतलब basically you are doing an upper version of that, right? मतलब if मैं example दूं तो ये ऐसा होगा कि NCERT पढ़ रहे हो, मतलब डेटा स्ट्रक्चर एल्गोरिथम कर रहे हो, और अगर तुम किसी क्या कहते हैं इंस्टीट्यूट का कोर्स मटेरियल पढ़ रहे हो अलग से, इसका मतलब क्या है? तुम कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग कर रहे हो, राइट? तो अगर तुम जेई और मतलब मेंस एडवांस की तैयारी कर रहे हो जैसे फॉर एन एग्जांपल, देन यू हैव टू स्टडी समथिंग डिफरेंट, राइट? समथिंग एक्स्ट्रा फ्रॉम NCERT. So that's the difference between doing normal data structures algorithms and going into competitive programming, right? So कोई DSA वर्कशॉप क्विज आ गया है. So now guys you can complete your quiz. जो भी है you can take over. Dhruv Mill. Right, बाकी guys किसी को भी कोई भी doubts हो, just let me know, right? And I'll take them. Acha, Dhruv, do you want me to open this form?
No, sir. Actually, I think that's sufficient. We have sent the link. So anyone who wants to attend the quiz, please do it. You'll also get a participation certificate from Coding Blocks. And I don't think there are any other doubts, right?
Right.
Just a sec. So there are actually some. We have published those.
Okay, सर अभी लीड कोड में प्रॉब्लम्स करने में टाइम लगता है, सो ये ठीक है क्या? हाँ, देखो स्टार्टिंग में तो टाइम लगेगा ही ना, बिकॉज इट्स नॉट अ 2 days जॉब, राइट? सो ऑलवेज गुड थिंग्स टेक टाइम, राइट? सो स्टार्टिंग में गाइस लीड कोड ही करो, इजी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करो लीड कोड से, राइट? और जब ऐसे लगे कि यार अब इजी प्रॉब्लम्स होने लगे हैं, आई हैव डन इनफ इजी प्रॉब्लम्स, देन गो ऑन टू मीडियम प्रॉब्लम्स और हार्ड प्रॉब्लम्स, राइट? So interview purposes के लिए guys best है medium and hard problems, right? But if you want to pass some coding rounds, जैसे company के होते ही हैं, coding rounds निकाल रहे हैं, उसके बाद interviews में जाएंगे, right? So for coding rounds तुम्हें competitive programming थोड़ी करनी ही पड़ेगी, right? Only DS Algo से काम नहीं चलेगा. सर CP कैसे करें? Resources and platform, right? So CP यार इस competitive programming मतलब इसके बहुत सारे resources हैं, बहुत सारे platforms हैं. So the best one according to me is Codeforces. Codeforces में जाओ, कुछ भी समझ नहीं आ रहा है उसके ब्लॉग्स पढ़ो उस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक के, और वहाँ पे Codeforces पे कॉन्टेस्ट होते रहते हैं रेगुलरली, उन कॉन्टेस्ट में पार्टिसिपेट करते रहो एंड डू अपसॉल्व, राइट? सो फॉर CP Codeforces इज बेस्ट, Codechef भी अच्छा है, राइट? सो दीज आर सम रेगुलर कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग वेबसाइट्स, राइट? HackerRank, HackerEarth, AdCoder है तो बहुत सारी, राइट? बट स्टिक टू 1 or 2 and keep on like practicing questions. Are you taking any class? Yes. So अभी एक rapid bootcamp करके शुरू हुआ है. I think this will be my last class at Coding Blocks because after this I'll be joining Google as a software engineer. So फिर वहाँ पे टाइम लगेगा, right? Cool. Thank you guys.
Okay, so I guess that's it. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out the time and giving us the knowledge. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.